Across the vast stretches of our planet lie remnants of a forgotten past, colossal monuments and impossible constructions that mock the limits of ancient technology. These are the megastructures that no one can fully explain, silent guardians of time, whispering secrets from an age that may have been far more advanced than we dare to believe. Every civilization leaves its mark, but some of these marks seem to belong to hands that wielded tools beyond their era, or perhaps, beyond this world. Take, for instance, the Osirion Temple of Abydos, hidden deep beneath the sands of Egypt. Unlike the elegant, hieroglyph-covered temples built by known dynasties, this one feels alien, primitive yet advanced at the same time. The massive granite blocks, some weighing more than 100 tons, are stacked and fitted together with such precision that even a sheet of paper can't slip between them. What's most baffling is that it doesn't match the architecture of its supposed builders, the pharaoh Seti I and his successors. The structure appears older, possibly thousands of years older. Many Egyptologists believe it predates even the pyramids themselves. If true, then the very foundations of Egyptian history could be upside down. Who, then, built the Osirion? And with what technology did they carve and move stones so immense, when according to our timeline, humans hadn't even mastered the wheel? Travel thousands of miles westward, high into the Andes Mountains of Peru, and you'll encounter another marvel, Sacsayhuaman. From a distance, it looks like a fortress, but as you approach, the scale begins to overwhelm. Enormous stones, some weighing over 300 tons, are fitted together with interlocking edges that curve and twist in strange, organic ways. No mortar holds them in place, yet they have stood firm through earthquakes and centuries of erosion. Modern engineers admit they couldn't replicate such construction today without heavy machinery. The Inca are credited with building it, but even they spoke of the gods who built it before them. Each block seems molded rather than carved, as if the stone itself was softened and shaped like clay. How could that be possible in an era without metal tools, or did they possess a forgotten method now lost to time? In Lebanon, another enigma rises from the ancient city of Baalbek. Among its ruins lies the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, a single monolith estimated to weigh more than 1,000 tons, one of the largest ever carved by human hands. To put that in perspective, it's heavier than a fully loaded Boeing 747 airplane. Modern cranes would struggle to move it, yet somehow, in an age before recorded engineering, this stone was cut and nearly transported to the temple site. How could ancient builders have lifted and positioned such gigantic blocks without steel, wheels, or even iron? Theories abound, ranging from lost mechanical systems to the idea of acoustic levitation or even extraterrestrial assistance. The Romans built upon this foundation centuries later, but even they admitted the original stones predated their civilization by untold millennia. These megastructures share something strange: perfection. They are mathematically aligned, astronomically precise, and constructed in ways that defy the primitive tools we believe their creators had. If these structures were merely ceremonial or religious, why the obsession with engineering precision that surpasses necessity? Why go to such lengths for monuments whose purpose remains uncertain? Some suggest these ancient builders had knowledge of anti-gravity, resonance, or sound-based lifting, concepts that today exist only in theoretical physics. Others propose that these monuments were built by a now-lost civilization, one that vanished before the rise of known empires, perhaps due to a cataclysmic event. If so, these megastructures might be their final message, left behind as proof that humanity's story didn't begin 5,000 years ago, but far earlier. As night falls across the desert and mountain, the air grows heavy with mystery. The stones themselves seem alive, pulsing with a silent energy, their surfaces worn but unbroken. Tourists walk among them, snapping photos, unaware that they are standing atop questions older than civilization itself. In the shadows of these colossal ruins, time feels distorted, like the earth is guarding a memory it refuses to reveal. Who carved these stones? How did they transport them? And most importantly, why? The answers are lost to history, buried beneath sand, myth, and speculation. Yet one truth remains undeniable: these megastructures were not the work of ordinary hands. Whether forged by human genius or something beyond, they stand as a haunting reminder that the past is far more mysterious, and perhaps far more advanced, than we ever imagined. Far to the east of the ancient Egyptian sands, deep beneath the peaceful villages of China's Zhejiang province, lies one of the world's greatest unsolved enigmas, the Longyou Caves. These are not simple caverns formed by nature, but vast, human-carved chambers that stretch endlessly underground. Discovered in 1992 by a farmer draining a pond, the caves revealed intricate, symmetrical walls and ceilings decorated with chiseled patterns that cover every surface. There are no historical records of their creation, no mention in any Chinese text, and no explanation of who made them, or why. Each of the 24 known caves is massive, with walls rising as high as a 7-story building. Engineers have calculated that to carve out this volume of solid rock with hand tools would require removing nearly 1 million cubic meters of stone. The effort would have demanded thousands of workers and decades of planning, yet there is no trace of tools, waste rock, or even human presence. What's more, the interiors are so perfectly balanced and stable that they have survived earthquakes for over 2,000 years. It's as if the builders possessed an understanding of geometry and engineering far ahead of their time. Were these caves temples, tombs, or perhaps shelters from some forgotten cataclysm? No one knows, but they stand as an eerie reminder that ancient civilizations may have had knowledge now lost forever. Travel thousands of miles across the Pacific, and the mystery deepens in the middle of the ocean. Off the coast of Micronesia lies Nan Madol, often called the Venice of the Pacific. This ancient city floats on a network of man-made islands and canals, built entirely from basalt columns, stones that each weigh several tons. The ruins stretch across nearly 200 acres, and what remains today is only a fraction of what once was. How did ancient islanders transport and stack such massive stones without metal tools or any form of advanced machinery? Local legends tell of twin sorcerers who flew the stones into place using magical chants and powers from the gods. Archaeologists have no idea how these structures were assembled, but the precision and scale of Nan Madol suggest a level of coordination impossible for a small island society over 1,000 years ago. Meanwhile, off the coast of Japan, submerged beneath the turquoise waters of Yonaguni, lies another riddle, the Yonaguni Monument. Discovered by a diver in 1986, this massive underwater formation resembles a stepped pyramid with sharp angles, terraces, and pathways. Some scientists insist it's natural, the result of tectonic activity, but others argue it's too geometric to be accidental. The steps are perfectly leveled, the corners sharp as though carved by human hands. If it is indeed man-made, it may date back over 10,000 years, long before any known civilization in Japan. Imagine a thriving culture that built cities along a coastline that was later swallowed by rising seas. Could Yonaguni be the sunken memory of that forgotten age? High in the Bolivian Andes, another ancient site baffles researchers, Puma Punku, part of the larger Tiwanaku complex. Scattered across the plateau are enormous stones cut with laser-like precision, forming interlocking shapes that fit together like 3D puzzle pieces. Some blocks have perfectly drilled holes and smooth right angles that suggest advanced stone-cutting tools, yet this site is estimated to be at least 15,000 years old. Modern engineers admit it would take heavy industrial saws and diamond-tipped drills to recreate such work today. The Inca, who came much later, believed Puma Punku was built by gods who descended from the sky. Could they have been remembering a real lost civilization, one whose technology rivaled or surpassed our own? Everywhere we look, these megastructures whisper the same impossible story. Whether submerged beneath the sea, hidden beneath mountains, or scattered across remote islands, they all share features that defy explanation. Stones too heavy to move, designs too perfect to be coincidence, and an absence of historical record. It's as though these monuments were built in total secrecy, or in a time so ancient that history itself forgot them. Scientists continue to search for logical answers, earthquakes, erosion, natural rock formations, but the more they investigate, the deeper the mystery becomes. What if our ancestors were not primitive after all? What if they inherited or rediscovered a technology from an earlier, greater age, an age erased by floods, quakes, or cosmic disaster? The Longyou Caves, Nan Madol, Yonaguni, and Puma Punku may not simply be ruins. They might be messages carved in stone, proof that human history is a cycle of rise, destruction, and rebirth. For now, the world can only stand in awe of these wonders, their purpose and creators lost to the echoes of time. As the wind blows through the ruins and waves crash over the sunken stones, one question remains unanswered: what forgotten civilization left these impossible footprints behind? In the heart of the Cambodian jungle rises Angkor Wat, a temple complex so vast and precise that it could be mistaken for a cosmic map etched in stone. From above, its 5 towers form the shape of a lotus, each perfectly aligned with the movement of the sun and stars. Built in the 12th century under King Suryavarman II, it remains the largest religious monument on Earth. Yet, even with today's technology, replicating its layout and mathematical accuracy would be a monumental challenge. The entire temple aligns precisely with the solstices, and its bas-reliefs depict celestial events that occurred thousands of years before it was built. Some researchers believe Angkor Wat was constructed to mirror the Draco constellation, suggesting the builders had advanced astronomical knowledge that shouldn't have existed at the time. How could people living nearly a millennium ago have mapped the heavens with such precision? As the sun sets over Angkor's spires, its reflection shimmers in the surrounding moat like a mirror of the cosmos. Tourists marvel at its beauty, but few realize they are walking atop a calendar, a clock, and a cosmic riddle all at once. Was this temple built purely for worship, or was it also a gateway, a coded connection between heaven and earth? Thousands of miles away, across the rolling green plains of England, another riddle stands proud: Stonehenge. These towering stones, arranged in a perfect circular pattern, have baffled scholars for centuries. The stones themselves were transported from quarries over 200 kilometers away, an impossible feat considering they weigh up to 25 tons each. Theories range from sledges and wooden rollers to Ice Age glaciers, yet none fully explain how they were positioned with such accuracy. The monument's alignment marks the solstices and eclipses, forming an ancient observatory of astonishing sophistication. How did Neolithic people, with no written language and primitive tools, possess such deep understanding of astronomy and geometry? Each year, on the summer solstice, the rising sun pierces through the central arch of Stonehenge, bathing it in golden light, a spectacle so precise it feels deliberate, like the builders knew exactly how to synchronize heaven and earth. It's almost as if these stones were not just monuments, but machines, timeless instruments designed to track the stars, measure the seasons, and perhaps, communicate with the divine. But perhaps the greatest mystery of all lies buried in the rolling hills of southern Turkey. Discovered only in the 1990s, Göbekli Tepe changed everything we thought we knew about civilization. It is over 12,000 years old, twice as old as the pyramids, older even than written language itself. Massive T-shaped stone pillars rise from circular enclosures, many carved with intricate reliefs of animals, celestial symbols, and humanoid figures. Some stones weigh up to 20 tons, and yet the builders had no metal, no wheels, and no agriculture. According to accepted history, humans at that time were simple hunter-gatherers, but Göbekli Tepe proves otherwise. It's as if a highly advanced culture suddenly appeared out of nowhere, built this grand temple complex, and then vanished without a trace. Even stranger, the entire site was deliberately buried under thousands of tons of earth. This wasn't the result of erosion or disaster, it was intentional. But why? Was it to protect something sacred? To hide forbidden knowledge? Or to ensure that only a future generation, perhaps ours, would rediscover it? Every answer seems to raise a dozen new questions. Across continents and centuries, these sites share something hauntingly familiar: precision, purpose, and mystery. From Angkor Wat's celestial symmetry to Stonehenge's astronomical design, from the submerged steps of Yonaguni to the buried pillars of Göbekli Tepe, all seem to point toward one truth: ancient humanity knew far more than we've been taught. Some theorists argue that a forgotten civilization, wiped out by a global cataclysm around 12,000 years ago, may have passed on fragments of its knowledge to survivors who rebuilt the world. Others whisper of beings, from the stars, who came down and shared wisdom before disappearing into myth. Ancient texts from nearly every culture, Sumerian, Egyptian, Mayan, Hindu, speak of gods descending from the sky, teaching architecture, astronomy, and mathematics. Could these gods have been flesh and blood beings, mistaken for divine by early humanity? Or are these tales symbolic memories of a long-lost civilization that rose and fell before ours began? The stones are silent, but silence itself can speak volumes. When you stand before these ancient megastructures, the pyramids, Angkor, Stonehenge, Göbekli Tepe, you feel a strange connection, as if time collapses and the past whispers in your ear. These places remind us that history is not a straight line, it is a circle, repeating, hiding, revealing. Perhaps the true mystery isn't how these monuments were built, but why they endure. Maybe they were never meant to be understood by logic alone. Maybe they were built as reminders, to make us question, to make us wonder, and to keep us searching for the truth about where we came from. Because deep down, one haunting possibility remains: we may not be the first advanced civilization to walk this earth. We may just be the latest chapter in a story written in stone, a story that began long before our history books ever started.